Hello and welcome to another Ready and Roll video. Today we are going to be taking a look at the first of hopefully many videos taking a flip through the Mothership books, because I think these are great and I think more people should be looking at TTRPGs in this sort of format, because I think they're superb for just throwing in a bag and taking to games nights. Yeah. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Mothership Player's Survival Guide. Before we go any further, I want to do the usual YouTube thing and suggest that if you enjoy this sort of video, like and subscribe and do all that nonsense that the YouTube algorithm likes, I guess. Yeah, that horrible nonsense is out of the way. So let's crack this open. So first off, this book is, I think it's under 60 pages long. No, it's not even. This book is 41, 42, 43, and if you count the back cover, 44 pages long. So it's not big at all, which does make things interesting. This is an extremely rules-light TTRPG, and there's a lot of things that you would expect from a TTRPG that this does not do. So yeah, let's open it up and have a flip through and chat about Motherships. Basically, Player's Handbook. Opening up, we have some tables. This leans more on the OSR styling, so expect tables galore, which I love a good table. Maybe it's the wrestling fan in me. So yeah, goes right in on the character sheet. It's very simple. Even on the character sheet itself, it tells you what you need to do to roll your stats. So even if you've never looked at a character sheet before, it goes, hey, 1, roll 2d10, add 25 for each stat, done. Roll 2d10, add 10 for each save, and so on and so forth. I love that, it's great. And even then, it explains everything fairly well. You will notice there are no sort of, I guess you could call them social stats. So there's no persuasion, there's no intimidation, that's not a thing you roll for in this game, which is interesting. I've not run this yet, but to me I think that's interesting, because it means that I think maybe this game isn't going to be for everyone. If you like the ultra granularity of most TTRPGs that you'll find out in the wild, like Dungeons and Dragons to an extent, like Pathfinder or Starfinder, or I thought that was a bit of hair. You're not going to get that here, which I think is interesting. Which I think the argument could be made that this is both a good thing and a bad thing for newcomers to tabletop role-playing games, because it means that they're not having to roll as much, but it also means that if they're not keen or are just new to the whole improv side of things, then that's going to be a lot harder. It's going to be something that they're going to have to like work on, and that's something that you don't see in many even OSR style RPGs. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Here we have the loadouts for the 4 different classes, I guess. Even though android's basically a class in this, which is interesting. You also get your trinkets. You get trinkets in this game, which I love. Some of these are superb. Let's snake whiskey. It's fun. Key to your childhood home. One of my favourites, I think, is the spent shotgun glasses. The spent shotgun shells as shot glasses. And obviously, Eat the Rich is funny as a patch. So you get a trinket and a patch. They don't really do anything, they just add flavour. Yeah, they don't really do anything in game. I just think they're fun. Princess is also quite funny. When I run this, I'm actually probably going to ask what the patch looks like, rather than just saying, oh, my character has a meat bag patch or a drink fight fuck bag patch. What does that look like? What does that, describe the patch? So, especially you get some embroidered patches that are quite intricate and fun looking. So, yeah. And here you get your equipment page. Includes costs. A little bit of detail on what that equipment is. Page on weapons, which, yeah, pretty good. Page detailing armor and what it might look like. I really love the aesthetic they've gone for this page. The art in this book is super varied. You might have already noticed. So you've got, stuff like this that's relatively detailed. Stuff like this that's super detailed. And if we flip ahead while I'm talking about the art, we've got stuff like, oh, I see it. Stuff like this. It's just a fucking scribble. Calling it a scribble is, yeah. Anyway, yeah. How to be a great player. I love that that's included. Sorry about that. Don't know if that was a knock on the door. I don't think it was. I don't think my order's meant to arrive just yet. Anyway. Yeah. Thing on dice notation, what you need, which is nice. How to save. It's a D100 system, rolling under, much like Call of Cthulhu or what have you. Skills, how to improve skills, or not quite how to improve skills just yet. Yeah. About, there we go. Skill training. Yeah. Big fan. I think depending on the campaign you're running, I'd edit that a little bit. Having to having to have a character take 2 years out of their life and then 10,000 credits a lot. Like, this game expects you to be jumping around in time a little bit, but, you know, it's... If you want a more fast-paced game, which this game runs a little bit slower by the looks of things, but I think you could still do it quite quickly. Yeah. But then that's the joy of these sorts of games. They're designed for you to poke and prod at them and remove things wholesale if you want or need. And I like that. Yeah. Bit on violent encounters. Obviously this is a sci-fi horror game. Things are going to get violent sooner rather than later. Combat rules on range, adjacent, close range, long range, and extreme range. I like this. I want to start doing this for more TTRPGs, rather than just going, oh, you're 30 feet. I want to just go, all right, you're adjacent to someone, you can just smack them in the face if you want. And I think that it gets you out of that, even if you're still using battle maps and miniatures, it gets you out of that extremely granular tactical thinking, I think. Which is, like, don't get me wrong, that's fine for a lot of games. But in stressful situations, unless you're trained to do so, you're not going to be thinking tactically as a character. Like, if you're a soldier and you're trained to go, okay, you know, I know my weapon shoots out to this exact distance. That's different. That's fine. That makes sense that you'd go, okay, I can get 30 feet. I can move 30 feet and then use my weapon that shoots another 100 feet. But if you're just a ship's mechanic, you've had maybe a dozen hours behind a trigger or what have you, you're not necessarily going to be thinking as much in that mindset. So swapping it out for this makes you, I think, it makes you think, okay, cool, that's close. I can shoot that with a pistol or what have you. And it also makes you think more cinematic, I feel. It makes you stop looking at everything as a grid, and it makes you go, okay, I'm here. I've got a table here, and my enemy's over here. So instead of going, I'm going to move 30 feet, you as a player could then say, I want to move here, vault the table, and shoot that person. Which, for me as a DM, I'd go, okay, move normal, make an acrobatics check, if we're using D&D terms and so on. Make an acrobatics check, and then shoot them. So, if I would say, in that instance, if you wanted to make that acrobatics check, you succeed, you're going to make the shot up as normal. If you crit the acrobatics check, I would say I'd give everyone near you advantage in that instance. Or if you fail, you get a penalty, so say a -1. You tripped over, you got up into the air, but your foot caught the edge of the table. Your shot's going to be a little bit off. And if you crit fail, you take, I don't know, D6 bludgeoning damage, because you've bashed your face on the table or what have you, and you're now prone. Anyway, went way off topic on a tangent about ranges, because I think that's interesting to me. Yeah. Bit on survival, stuff like crow sickness, bleeding, Stimpack overdose. I love that is a thing in this, and it's something that I want to look at doing in my Starfinder campaign. Like, I don't, like, the thing is, I don't want my Starfinder campaign to be too gritty and survival-y, but I also want decisions and things like that to matter, rather than just going, oh no, I'm you know, at half health, just whack a health serum, I think is what Starfinder calls them. You know, every time you do it, you'll have to make a save just in case, you know, or become dependent on them, because at the end of the day, the way they're going to be saving your life like that, they should be potent drugs that you don't want to overuse. Yeah. Thing on medical care. And physical treatments and their costs. And something that I think all games should have. I genuinely believe that. An example of play. Yeah. Yeah, I love this game. I think it's got some of my favourite mechanics, like the mechanic for how you say how you would make a death save is superb, I think. I had a D100 earlier. That's gone now. I can't. I'll just use. Just imagine these are D100s. Of course, none of the dice that I rolled that came out of the bag I need. Anyway, imagine this is a D100. You draw your save as normal, but before you, as you roll, I know what I'll use. Take the cap off my spray paint. You'd roll, and under a cup, obviously, you'd want something that's, you know, you can't see into. Even that's too much. You want something that's completely, you know, opaque. I had to think of the word then. Anyway, you roll your dice, and that's failed. But anyway, you roll your dice if you're dying, and it would be up to the person who revived you to then look at the cup, look at the roll, and only then would they know if you'd survived. You'd have to actually, if you want to help someone, you'd actually have to make an action to, say, check their pulse and see if they're even still breathing or if they're dead. And I fucking, especially in this sort of tense atmosphere for this game, I think that's incredible. I think that's such a good idea, because it adds so much tension and it makes you care more for the characters. So yeah, that's the player survival guide. My brain's fucked right now, so thinking is hard. I won't get into too much as to why. People who know me will probably know why. But yeah, brain not do good right now, but I wanted to get videos out, because I've not been uploading as consistently as I used to earlier on in the year. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Again, sorry, it's probably not as bad as it feels like, but yeah, great books. You can get these individually for like 15 quid, So 30 quid to get started playing this game. Obviously it doesn't come with any scenarios, but I think that's still pretty good. And then another 15 quid for, say, the first, like the recommended beginner module, which is another bug hunt. So 45 quid to really get started on a game. And like I said earlier, this isn't really a beginner's TTRPG, so chances are you've already got D100s, and if you don't, there's plenty of D100 rollers online. So, yeah. Thank you for watching this one. Take care of yourselves. See you, next time.